What's going on, everybody? I appreciate those of you that were hanging out waiting for the stream to start. For those of you watching the replay, though, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on all notifications when we do these live chats. You can take part right along with us. So I was debating on doing a haul video today. I had this special collection from Collage Perfumes come in, and then the two fragrances that are featured in today's video, and one of which I'm wearing from Paris Corner Caher Pistachio K Ali Clone. I've never smelled the K Ali fragrance. I've been wanting to try it. This is amazing. It's absolutely stunning. I had to wear it right away. You got to like florals and powdery and sweet and all that good stuff, but that creamy pistachio gelato accord at the top mixed with a little spice. There's some rum here. This is good. This is really good. It might be a little too feminine for some, but I absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. Don't know how accurate it is to the original, but as a standalone, it's phenomenal. The other one in the video, Caher, beautiful fruity oud smell, but this just stood out a little bit more. It got a half a point more. So anybody that hasn't checked out this morning's video, please go check that out when you get a chance. But that's what I'm rocking today. Paris Corner Caher Pistachio. Easy enough, right? And beautiful bottle too. Paris Corner's really stepped their game up. Got to compete with the other brands in the same category, right? The fragrance worlds, Lattafas, Armafs, they all competing with one another. Ajmal, Afnan, and so on. There's a new one, Rayon. They got competition now. So good stuff for sure. I'm loving it. Hit that thumbs up on the way in if you guys don't mind. Let's get with the chat. So like I said, no topic today. I decided let's just chat because this is going to be it. Tomorrow, I'm going to take a 3-day weekend break from the streams. We'll be back on Monday. So I was going to do 5 streams this week, but I said, let's just do 4 in a row, get caught up. We did a couple of topics. Now let's chat today. Let's see, preparing and leaving for work while doing the live. Latafa Nebras, have a nice live, guys. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Let them know, Joel. Let them know. Appreciate you. Adam, good to see you. Cynthia Leon Le Parfum, the Le Male Le Parfum clone. How did the days of white flex fit? Black embroidered P on the front, on the back, embroidered Mojo. Odessa Permian. I don't know what that is, but love these Q&A lives. Glad to have you, Adam. Ryan, how are you? Wearing Dylan Blue. Similar, but not quite the same. There's a lot more tonka bean going on here with tobacco and tonka bean from Banana Republic. It's more of like a powdery, kind of cool opening ice cream type of vanilla tonka, like a vanilla bean ice cream kind of thing going. It's one of those types of tonka beans. It's more powdery sweet and kind of ice creamy than it is earthy tobacco. So not quite, because Dossier, that smells very much like tobacco vanille. It's cloning tobacco vanille, whereas tobacco and tonka beans kind of like inspired by, but kind of its own thing at the same time. So they're not exactly the same. Not really all that close to one another, but there are similar elements. Hope that helps. Dan, not the man, what's going on? MIL birthday. Don't know what that is. Last night and had on the evening Mystique, and the wife wore Of the Immortals, rocking Tonka Cola at work today. Well, hell yeah, you smelled great last night. You smell great today. The wife smelled great. It was just great. Good to see you. Eduardo's wearing Jazz Club. It was a gift from my girlfriend. It was my introduction to the hobby. Have you ever tried any zoologist fragrances? T-Rex, just to give you a heads up, is like a scorched earth, smoky, resinous fragrance. Like it's gonna wow you. Wearability is to each their own kind of thing. I thought it was like crazy the first time I smelled it, but I don't have a lot of experience with zoologists. Won't be able to stay for long because I've got a class coming up, but hope the stream goes well. I appreciate that, Eduardo. Thanks for stopping by. I saw you had removed this earlier, but once you make a comment, it stays in StreamYard. On YouTube, you can remove it, but it stays here. I haven't tried anything from Zoha. I haven't tried anything from them. Fragrance Fraternity, good to see you. Luna Rosa Ocean, good stuff. Sean's in the house. We're in Zenio by Navitus. Never tried it. Superstars that moved to AEW. Oh, no. I follow wrestling. I follow wrestling is what it comes down to, my man. For sure. Yeah, I've got more AEW gear than I've got AEW is Jericho. I've got their zip up hoodie. I've got the AEW flat bill, AEW performance thin hoodie t-shirt, long sleeve hoodie t-shirt. Like I got some AEW gear too. Like the only AEW pay-per-view I didn't buy was the last one. And it's because I was in Louisiana. That's the only one in the history of AEW that I didn't buy the pay-per-view. So think about that. They've been around for over 3 years, and I've only missed one pay-per-view. So yeah, big AEW. I watched Dynamite last night. I don't watch New Japan as much. It's here and there. Now that it's Wrestle Kingdom season, I'm going to be watching. I do have a subscription to New Japan World, so I'll be watching that more. I keep an eye on what was Impact Wrestling. I used to be a big TNA fan in the early 2000s, back when AJ was there, AJ Styles. The Aces and Eights gimmick, all that, Kurt Angle's heyday, just all of that. I'm a wrestling fan. I just follow wrestling. I don't follow as much of the indies, just a little bit. DOT and stuff like that. I mean, DDT and Reality of Wrestling, Booker T's territory, for example. I watch NXT. Watch quite a bit. I watch quite a bit, honestly. It's like the main thing I watch is wrestling. I keep up with wrestling. Good afternoon. Good to see you. I wouldn't say I'm a big YouTuber now. If you look at the grand scheme of YouTube, still a drop in the bucket, man. For the space, I'm a pretty decent sized channel. For our niche, I'm a decent sized channel, but overall grand landscape of YouTube, still a drop in the bucket, man. I'm just a guy that makes content. I've told people all the time, I'm no better than somebody with 500 subscribers. It's just a few more people watch me is how you can look at it. But that's kind of funny that you said that. Been here for a bit, so excited to be here for more. Sin of the Day Victory Elixir. Boy, you've been really enjoying that one. Those of you who didn't know, he won that as one of the member giveaways. Dolce & Gabbana K EDP. Tresemme hairspray opening. I can never get rid of that. Thanks, Fernando. If you happen to see this. Ever since he said that, I smell Tresemme hairspray when I spray it. But that's really good stuff. Most people like that one more than the EDT, but I like both. Isola Blue, my 10 out of 10 fragrance. It's good stuff. Nice hat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Tropicana Field, site of this year's Royal Rumble, which I will be attending with the Fragrance Apprentice. Pandora Scent Savior, their clone of Sauvage. What's going on, Spencer? Charuto Mysterious Tobacco from Paris Corner. Paul, good to see you. Reacts to the OG. Yeah, I want to try the K Ali. Because anytime I really like the clone, if I try the clone first, it's like, oh, shit. I definitely need to try the original if the clone's this good, That was what happened with Rifakat. I finally got to try Baby Cat, and it's like, holy shit, now I need Baby Cat. But I got to wait. Laptop comes in tomorrow, by the way. So that'll be nice. Nautica Voyage. That is a classic. Never tried it. Dino, good to see you. Wearing King Fragrances Plum Gin Pay. So the Tom Ford clone, okay. Would you consider it redundant to own Triumph box if you already have Carlisle? Not really. That's much more fruity and boozy and stuff like that. Like there's some similarity in the profile, but this goes back to sample. sample. Try for yourself, because I have both and I don't find them that redundant. Just like I don't think Carlisle smells that much like red tobacco, like the internet will lead you to believe. There's some similarity, but I think there's just as many differences, honestly. Keep the awesome work. Wearing Bleu de Chanel EDT, one of my faves. Marco, excellent choice. Great to have you. Juan Ochoa, good to see you. Gucci got the cologne. That's underrated. That doesn't get any love. It's kind of a polarizing fresh green, but it's really good in the springtime. I actually really like that fragrance. Best Sauvage cheap cologne. What's your definition of cheap? Because my definition of cheap is under $50 USD. So it all depends. I mean, honestly, when we get to stuff that smells like really much, like it's a clone of Sauvage, they usually smell really cheap, like cheap Ambroxan. Then it's like the most chemical smelling stuff ever. So honestly, if you really like Sauvage that much, I would go after Prada Luna Rosa Carbon or Sauvage, or potentially Mercedes-Benz Man Blue. That's got some similarity to it. It's more of a lavender smell, but it kind of mimics the smell of the Ambroxan. So something along those lines. It's not always the best option to go after a cheap clone unless it's just really, really good. When it's an Ambroxan heavy fragrance, like that's the main note, that's an iffy thing right there with how just chemical smelling it's going to be. And it might be off-putting. You might not enjoy it. And you'd be like, damn, what a waste of $25. When if you'd have just saved, instead of buying those 3 cheap fragrances and just bought Sauvage from a discounter or bought Prada Luna Rosa Carbon, you would be happier. I'm pretty confident you'll be happier. So that's my advice in that situation, especially with something that's cheap but smells like Sauvage. You're going to be convincing yourself that it's just as good like most of the people on the internet. Oh, man, it's the same. It's Armaf, whatever, Ventana or whatever one that is. I've got other Armaf clones that are like Armaf. A lot of their stuff's cheaper smelling than other brands, like Afnan. Like Afnan's quality is way better. I'm sure Afnan has something that smells like Sauvage. I just haven't tried it, but I think it's Ventana or something like that is the clone from Afnan, from Armaf. And if it's synthetic like most of their EDTs that I have, you might not want to do that, you know? And then next thing you know, you're one of these people on the internet convincing yourself it's just as good. Because that's not every clone is just as good. Some are. Some definitely are. Happy to be here. Good to see you, Jorge. A lot of hype surrounding. Okay, so that's a retype. Refakat is on the menu. So good. Have a 10 ml of Baby Cat on the way. God, Baby Cat's so good. Oh, it's so good. Adolfo's wearing Ani. Speaking of so good. Waking Life celebration was amazing the other day. Appreciate your prayers. Well, I'm glad it went well, my man. Definitely prayers with the family. Talk about dedication. Man was getting ready for a wake to bury a loved one and was in the chat for a live stream over here. And I'm like, man, you know, we're not important right now. I appreciate the dedication and the love, though. What we got here? Hold on one second, guys. All right. Had to respond to that one real quick. Smash that like. Let them know. Mr. Gumbo, a.k.a. Hot Grease. Appreciate the super chat. I am originally from Houma, Louisiana. Spent the first 32 years of my life there, sir. That's why I love that your name's Mr. Gumbo. That's a Louisiana tie-in. Yeah, that's why I'm such a Saints fan, you know. Lived in Texas for 4 years, Colorado for 3 years. And then now I'm here. So 36 to, yeah. I just moved here. It was almost 3 solid years. We moved like 2 months before because November would have made 3 years that we were in Colorado. We moved in August. So it was almost 3 full years I was in Colorado. But yeah, we're in Florida, probably staying in Florida long term. We love it here. We're going to end up getting a house in the next couple of years somewhere along the Panhandle, maybe Pensacola, who knows. But we're loving where we're at on the beach right now. I'll tell you that. We're going to be here for this spot for probably 2 or 3 years at least. Arabian Tonka. I've heard good things. I have Paris Corner's version, and it's really good. Pacha de Cartier Parfums. Beautiful. Mother-in-law. Okay. Wasn't sure. There's so many acronyms out there that you can never be certain, you know. Montrese, good to see you, my man. Was my high school, which was in school, featured in 2004 movie Friday Night Lights. Fun fact for everyone. Adam went to the Friday Night Lights school. Why EDP? Any dupe worth sampling that's compared to Creative? I haven't tried any of the clones because I'm not rushing to help sell all the duas and all that stuff out like everybody else is. Like they're way too hyped up right now. Everybody's way too hyped to get a clone of that. So y'all have at it if you feel like you must have them. I'm gonna wait. I'm not in a big old rush because it's not that serious. Because if I want to sniff on the profile, I still have plenty of sprays here. Like this. This sample still has plenty in it of the real one. So I'm okay for right now. I'm not in a big old rush. But eventually I'll check out one of the clones, you know. Probably whenever Alexandria's version, if they haven't already, something like that, or maybe Sensual Obsessions or Michael Dinsmore. So, you know, who knows, might end up trying to do I'm sure the Middle Eastern brands are going to have theirs out. Like eventually I'll get around to them. I'm just not in a big rush. Golden anniversary today. Did not know that. All right. Yeah, I mean, with a name like that, he's got to live in Louisiana for sure. Hugo Boss Intense from Montrese. Cool review this morning. End of the day. Dusted off the old OG Invictus bottle. Man, I haven't sprayed that in a while. But yeah, I'm wearing pistachio. That's what I'm wearing. So in my little shorts video, I sprayed 5 around the neck. I typically don't spray right here, but it made me go a little anosmic, but I added 2 sprays on the forearm. So I got 7 sprays on. Man, it's so good. It's my kind of fresh floral, because it's not a through and through gourmand. And that's what I like about it. If it just smelled like dessert, I wouldn't want to wear it all the time. Whereas this, it's got an airiness, a freshness, spice. It's more floral than it is just gourmand. I'm here for this one. This is good stuff. This is one of my favorite Paris corners I've picked up this year. Aroma Concepts sent it my way. And thank you. Thank you. I like this one a lot. Good to see you, big dog. Greetings from Barbados. Have you tried Shield Black Leather? Never even heard of it. Never even heard of it. Love that Masoni Wave is your avatar, though. Mikey, good to see you. Tom Ford Lost Cherry. First wearing a Pegasus yesterday, and I got the cooling effect that you talked about. Thoughts on Craze? Royale Stallion's pretty spot on. Al Harriman uses good quality oils. That's one that's really, really close. Really, really, really close to Pegasus. That's one of the few times I would say, honestly, if you had that, you don't need Pegasus. But it's also pretty pricey. It's like $80. So you just spend a little bit more and you could get Pegasus, like especially a 75 ml of Pegasus. So that's one of those things where the Al Harriman clone's really, 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 really close. I've never smelled Craze. I'm sure it doesn't smell as close in quality to Royale Stallion. Goes back to what I was saying about Armaf's quality over the years, because that's one of their fragrances they've had out for a while is Craze, Ventana, all those. They're much more synthetic. And somebody's going to jump in the chat. Oh, no, bro, Armaf Craze closer than Royale Stallion. It's all opinions, guys. It's all opinions. This is just my opinion. But Royale Stallion's pretty damn close. Finished off 1 million today. Hey, excellent choice. Finish off my original bottle of 1 million on today's scent of the day. That's impressive. It's gratifying and a little nerve-wracking when you finish a bottle, right? Because now you're like, shit, should I buy another one right away? Should I wait? Do I need to focus on another favorite? I mean, it comes down to that. But good to see you, my man. Glad you're here. Dan Stank, good to see you. We're in Tonka Cola. Man, I love Tonka Cola. It's right here. Got some tag videos. So this is going to be for the video Dedrick tagged me in. And then that's 12 fragrances, one for each month. And then the one Razor Ramon the Barber tagged me in, 10 most worn. Those are right here. So I'm doing those 2 videos after this. Call me a lean, mean content machine. What can I say? So we'll be doing that here in a little bit. I'm not the guy to ask because I don't like Santal 33. Dossier's version is pretty close. I have to say that's the one that's kind of been the most tolerable for me. I just don't like the scent profile, but Dossier's version is actually really good. I would look into that one, but I'm not a Santal 33 guy. That's one of the few Irish fragrances I just don't like. It just doesn't do it for me. I don't think it stinks. It just doesn't smell good to me. So I don't wear it. I avoid those. And let me see what level this gentleman joined at. I want to say your name right. Welcome to the membership first and foremost, but Ephraim, I'm probably butchering your name. I'm so sorry. There's no 2 ways about me butchering your name, my man. I mean, I appreciate the support for the channel and brotherhood coming into the family, but man, I'm just gonna butcher that first effort. I'm sure is wrong, so I'm not going to continue and try any further. If you'd like to give me a little hint on how to break it down to pronounce your name properly, I'd appreciate it. But I'm just going to keep butchering your name. I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. But welcome. I know other members. You're going to see them hitting the custom emojis. They're good for that when somebody joins. Join this cool South Florida day. Louis Delhomme. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all, sir. Jonathan, good to see you. Much love. Wearing Mercedes-Benz Man Gray. That's such a good one. I haven't worn it in a while. Wow, this stuff is so good, better than I expected. Because it doesn't smell like everything. Even though it's got Ambroxan, it's not a big hit of it. It's a little smoky and ambery. It's warm, but still fresh with a touch of spice. It's good stuff, and it's one you could totally wear every day. Not a high heat fragrance, but the other 3 seasons totally could rock that every day. Especially right now. It's really good for right now. Yeah, New Japan's good shit, man, especially during Wrestle Kingdom season. Yeah, I did a video on Royale Stallion January 2020. It's been a long time. It's been almost 4 years since I did that review. It's good stuff. They did a really good job. I was very impressed. Yeah, I agree. I mean, once it's like, damn, I can't really tell the difference. It's like you don't need to try anymore. I don't need to experience other clones if I come across that clone where it's like I really can't tell. Like if you were to blind sniff me, I wouldn't be able to tell you which one's the real one, the original. And that's how Royal Stallion is to Pegasus to me. Continuum, good stuff. I need to reach back for that one. I wore Toomey 19 Degree this week. I think it was yesterday, actually. It's good stuff. Watch Sense, great to see. Woody Oud by Maison Alhambra. Oh, God, yes, absolutely. So I'm going to vlog I'm going to have a regular full-on vlog of me getting together with Atkinson once he arrives. And we start doing whatever. Any fan access stuff that we get to do before the Rumble, some stuff from the Rumble, a different video on its own for Sunday when me, him, and Omas are going fragrance shopping in Tampa. That's going to be its own video. And then Monday, we got Monday Night Raw. So that's going to be part of a larger vlog that'll be on the vlog channel. But the fragrance shopping vlog, that'll be on this channel. When it's really fragrance specific, it's still going to go on here, even though it's a vlog. But everything else that's going to happen, yeah, that's totally going to be on the TLTG vlog channel. So, yeah, absolutely, man. I got to make sure I have plenty of space on the phone and make sure the battery's charged at all times. And right on cue there, Spencer getting after it. Good to see you, Nasamato Pardo. Never tried it. Pardon. Okay. That makes more sense. I was like, Pardo, never heard of it. Sean Conley with $10 super chat. I appreciate that. When you did your fragrances, what did the brief look like? Did you include notes to be used or how you like try? So I actually tell the story, notes I'd like to be used. I give an example pyramid of what I'd like it to be with main accords featured and the goal and what type of performance I'm looking for, what situations it would suit best. Hence like business over pleasure. I didn't want that to be a loud fragrance. It was built to be a professional setting fragrance. You're a dickhead if you're in a professional setting wearing a beast. Anybody that takes offense to this and is watching, get tough, get thicker skin. I don't know what to tell you because yeah, that's a dick move to wear a beast in a professional setting. You need to be more respectful and mindful and more professional, hence the professional setting. So I was working in a very professional setting. It was a privately owned Mercedes dealership at the time. And I built what I thought was the ultimate fragrance for my taste for me in that setting. And Claude brought my vision to life perfectly. That it was exactly what I wanted business over pleasure to be. So just to give you an example from that, because that one, it was very specific on how I wanted it to come off of the skin. There's a reason I went with a certain oil concentration and the way he balanced the notes with the top and the base and everything. When you can get an understanding with the perfumer you're working with, when you can really understand one another and kind of gel the thought processes into one mind, as close to one mind as you can really come up with some great stuff. And that's, I believe, me and Claude as a team with my vision and what I wanted through his talents and his understanding of what I was looking for and understanding just me and the way I think. I think we did great with business over pleasure. And I think we did even better with Evening Mystique. So shout outs to Claude Beer. Phenomenal to work with him. But yeah, I didn't even do a brief the second. That's why I'm telling you the business over pleasure brief, because Evening Mystique, I didn't do a brief. I just called Claude and talked to him about it. Here's what I'm looking to do. And we had, I want to say 3 phone calls before I got the first set of renditions that he created. Now, this was all created from scratch. He created these for me. This wasn't stuff he had in a library that he sent to me. And it's like, hey, is this close? Can we tweak and modify this? No. He made these from scratch. Like it took a little while before I got the first set of bases is basically how you look at it. Because if you like one of them, you pick that as a base and modify from there. And both times I was able to, he usually does 4 right away to kind of see where you're at. And that's pretty much how it went the second time around. It was just through conversation and previous experience with one another and having built a relationship, staying in touch in between fragrances, like the relationship furthering, even though we weren't working on another fragrance. It just out of the blue came up, hey, we're going to do another one. So I didn't have to do a brief. Like if I was to ever get to do it again, and I'm lucky enough to work with Claude, it won't be a brief. I'm just going to call Claude and have a conversation, because that totally worked great for Evening Mystique. Evening Mystique came out just phenomenal, you know. But thank you for the super chat and thank you for the question. It's a great question because it's a very unique situation and experience, you know. Thank you, George Zaharoff, for affording that experience and opportunity. So I appreciate the super chat, Sean. Great question. I'm sure somebody in the chat's going to be going. Probably my mom's a good cheap Sauvage clone. There's one for you. Yeah, because I haven't tried any of those. Yusef, good to see you. Legend EDP. That is right there, sir. I kind of cleaned up some of them. The pile, you can't really tell, but the pile got smaller because these fragrances are here to do content with. Like I'm about to do a video after this, but if this wasn't right here, you would notice I trimmed it down a little bit. I picked some stuff up. Like, I'm not really wearing it right now. Back to the shelf. Rate my haul. Type your haul. Yeah, Spencer's ready. Go with Coach Green if you want to cheap. Ooh, that is like Green Sauvage. That's not a bad idea. That's actually a great recommendation. Dior 2020, Dior Intense, Dior Cologne, Aqua Wood Prada Alone. Man, 9.5 out of 10. That's a me haul. That's my kind of shit. Great. Great. 9.5 out of 10 is how I would rate that haul. No gaps, no misses, all great fragrances right here. All upper echelon for my taste. Upper echelon fragrances here. Absolutely. 9.5 out of 10. Great work. I hope you enjoy all of them. I have a feeling they were and At the Barber's, my favorite barbershop fragrance. You must watch a lot of my content and take my opinion very seriously, because that's all some me fragrances right there, my man. I appreciate the trust. I hope you enjoy all of them. Man, it gets me excited that you bought those. That's a bunch of my favorites. That's a bunch of my favorites, man. Great. Great job. Sauvage Alike, I found a Zaharoff Port Homme cologne after the Citrus Barbershop opened. Dried down Sauvage Like. Okay. Armand Elixir is a good clone of Sauvage. I have all of them. So go ahead, Spencer. To be inoffensive and pick up some good work sense. Yeah, I agree. Hello, all. Blue Noir Parfum. You, sir. Smell phenomenal. A little fresh and spicy with some suede and some very powdery iris. That's some good stuff. I love that release. I've forgotten whatever it is. It didn't last through the workday long enough for me to smell and recognize it. Well, that's an honest answer right there. Good to see you, Keith. Had plenty of time to listen to old lives with Ross and Justin, and let's just say I'm easily influenced. That's what that shows, but it's a lot of safe play fragrances. Well, Dior Intense isn't a super safe fragrance because there's some people that just can't do that kind of powdery iris smell like lipstick. You know what I mean? You got to really appreciate fragrances like that. I would say that's the most challenging fragrance you bought in that haul, but for the most part, bunch of versatile, safe play fragrances. Yeah. Good stuff, though. Soapy water. There you go. Sauvage EDP. Excellent choice. Nice and spicy. Stepped out for a few hours. Decided to wear Aqua Cinziale Blue. Not bad at all. I'm enjoying it. It's been a little bit since I wore it. I've worn it a few times this year. I'm sporadic with it. I just throw it in the rotation once in a while. That's a good question. Let me think. Prominent tobacco designer. Huh. Who's excited for Stronger With You and Tobacco? Speaking of. That's probably, I would assume if I had already smelled it, I'd be telling you that right now. If I get that before the end of this year, if I can manage to get that, that might end up being my designer release of the year. If it releases. I don't know if it's officially released yet, but man. Let me see. Let me look at the designer shelves. That's a tough one. Because the one I want to say is discontinued with 1 million privé, but so I can't say that one. Because nothing's immediately jumping in my head like, ooh, this one. So maybe that is the answer. There's not really a ton of great designer tobaccos really that come to mind. It's mostly niche tobaccos and upper level stuff. So I would say hold out for Stronger With You tobacco. If you like Stronger With You at all, I think we're going to love that fragrance. I know I will. There's no misses in that line for me. A sign you own too many fragrances like us. Yeah, for sure. That's why I like stronger fragrances. Giancarlo, good to see you wearing Bath and Body Works coffee and whiskey. It's a legendary one to grow. MG. So I'm either getting the package to it's in Georgia right now. It's supposed to be tomorrow. So hopefully that's the case. But I've got Bulgari Pour Homme, Bulgari Man Wood Essence, and what other Bulgari fragrance? Point being, I'm going to do a live stream with that part of the haul because I have a two order, one package fragrance buy order that I came. It was two, but they shipped it as one. And the Bulgari stuff, I'm going to do that as a live stream just for you. The Manceras and stuff like that, I'm going to do a recorded video. But so when you see that thumbnail pop up for that live stream next week, it might be, so it's either going to be Monday or Thursday, because Tuesday I have my live stream with Scott. So that slot's already taken. So it might be Monday. So be on the lookout. Promised you I'd get it before the end of the year. I got it. It's almost here. Chrome EDP versus Parfum versus Extreme. You know, I debated on doing that video. The original versus the EDP versus the Parfum versus the Extreme. It's funny that you say that. I've been meaning to do that video. So the EDP is kind of like Chrome's take on Profondo lights. Just like Extreme is kind of like Chrome's take on Profondo. It's funny how closely related those scent profiles are. But the Parfum is a very sticky, resinous green, like it's fur balsam based. That's a smoother, more dressy occasion version of Chrome. Believe it or not, that exists. But if I had to pick one of these, it's actually closer with the EDP and the Extreme than you would think, because I do slightly prefer Profondo lights to Profondo. So it kind of plays the exact same way here, where, believe it or not, the EDP has grown on me to where it's kind of my favorite version of Chrome now over Extreme, which Extreme's always been consistently my favorite. And maybe if I was to do a side-by-side right now, I might still feel the same way. I don't know. But in the moment, I'm kind of thinking the EDP here, because it comes down to that logic. As I like Profondo lights more than Profondo, and EDP smells like Profondo lights, Extreme smells like Profondo mixed with Chrome. So I think Chrome EDP here. I already answered that. So I'm way behind in the comments. So I know you heard. It's all the hype, but King of Diamonds so unique. Smells 3 times the price. Have you ever tried? No, none of those actually. It's a clone of Vertus Narcosis. So I don't want any clones of Vertus. I just want Vertus. I don't even want to try a Vertus clone. That brand's amazing. That brand's worth the money. And they're not even crazy expensive either. So yeah, when it comes to Vertus, I'm not even interested in trying clones. Now, if they were to come out with a vanilla oud clone, I'd just have to do my due diligence, because I know a ton of people would ask me to review it and give my thoughts and see how close it is to vanilla oud, because I love vanilla oud. It's one of my 5 favorite fragrances. But man, Vertus is one of those houses for me that I'm not even interested in checking out the clones. I'd rather spend the money on the real deal. That's a great fragrance house. Great. And the gray one. You picked up both of them. So fruity oud and then pistachio gelato with some florals and spice. The booze fades. You just get that rum at the top. The spice hangs for a while. It starts to settle into, it's powdery from the start, but it becomes more of a powdery floral with some sweetness, and it's creamy and fluffy. They have a whipped cream accord, cotton candy and stuff like that. Like it does lean feminine, but damn, it smells good. This is a couple's fragrance. This is one you can share in the household for sure. Yes, it's called Warrior from Making Sense. It's got the Ultimate Warriors logo on the label. makingsense.bigcartel.com. Making, M-A-K-I-N. Not making, making. Sense, S-C-E-N-T-S. This brand right here. Making Sense. And it's called Warrior. Good to see you, sir. New Iberia, hell yeah. And now Jeanette. Jeanette, or do you mean Jeanette? What's going on, Jason? Good to see you. DS and Durga. I don't know what weird name for a fragrance, but it smells nice. Modern Classic Evening Mystique. I did see your post. I shared them earlier. And yes, I have fat fingers. The King, wearing Dia from Amouage. I just love it too much. I've never tried that one. I want to try that, Honor Man, and Memoir Man. That's the three that have been kind of on the short list of I really need to try these from Amouage. That's going to be on the short list of need to experience for 2024. Because I typically try to sample Amouage first. That's a risky game, blind buying Amouage, I find. Indeed I am. Aura fragrance, very legitimate, very legitimate. Buy with confidence. Pradalome Intense, excellent choice, Muhammad. Welcome. Shagaf Oud by Swiss Arabian. All right. I do not. I haven't tried any. And I don't know of any. Like, I don't recall anybody telling me of any or seeing anything. Just bought Scepter Bronzite, and I don't know how I feel about it. Something I do note is that it gives me hints of LV Imagination meets L'Immensité. I haven't tried it myself, sir. I figured you meant Jeanette. I figured that. Clean slate. Okay. Profondo or the new Parfum? Ooh, so actually the new Parfum. I'm one of the few in the proud because I like the change from Profumo. Because now, if I want Profumo's more, if I want a mass appealing fragrance for a dressy occasion or cooler weather, that's one of the first things that's going to come to mind. Because the Parfum's a little bit fresher, a little bit greener, so it excels even better in the warmer weather. I would say the Parfum is spring, summer, fall, and Profondo is fall, winter, spring. Because the incense is toned down, the patchouli's toned down. They're still there, but they're toned down. There's other things that are heightened on the Parfum. I really like that release. It's one of my favorite designer releases of the year. It's going to be so hard to whittle it down to 10 when I do these videos next month for best of the year. The different categories for best of this for 2023, best of that for 2023. It's going to be really hard with the designers to just pick 10 because there's a lot of designer releases I really like this year. Some stuff's going to have to miss out. Some of you might be surprised by some of the ones that miss out and some of the ones that do make it. Explorer with a few sprays of Rave Now over the top. Here in Hawaii, needed some sweetness to cut that smokiness. It's still smoky out there? Oh, to cut the Explorer. Okay. My bad. Let's take on Paris Corner. Fire Your Desire. Haven't smelled it, but have heard great things. So is that one of the ones I have? No, I don't have Fire Your Desire. That's the Angel Share clone, right? I haven't tried that one. Born Aroma Intense. I like Born Aroma Intense a little bit more. It's kind of like Smoky Invictus Aqua. Born Aroma's fine. Brother of my brother-in-law, probably a beard, hat, swagger combo. Hey, whatever works. I take it as a compliment. Welcome. So for those of you wondering, on StreamYard, it doesn't show the custom emojis. It just says the names of them. So you see them on YouTube in the chat. But on StreamYard, when I pin the comments from StreamYard, it doesn't show it. I haven't tried either, but I know when it comes to the fragrance world, when Joel, if he was here, he could weigh in. He's got that one. Optimistic. I'm sure it's going to be good. Want to be a member? It's a subscription every month or one time. I'm new to this. Sorry. So you can set it to just one time, or you can have it be reoccurring. That's totally up to you. You just, when you go to the payment option, you got to make sure you read everything. Because there's some people that just have been here from the start. It's like 6 months of it now, and they've just renewed it every time. Whereas others might have missed a month and then came back, or some it was a one-time thing. Anything and everything is very appreciated, and depending on the level, you'll be eligible for some cool shit. The first level is the only one that's not eligible for some cool shit every month. So, which you'll see in the member posts. So, because you guys vote on those prizes, on what I should buy and what we give away and all that stuff. I just actually asked about content for December for the members to weigh in. Any members here, I'm sure you saw it, or if you didn't, please go vote. Lila Bo Vetter for 46, New York bound for Sin Explorer. I hope you have a good time, man. Give Angel a big dap for me. I don't know if he's going to hug you, but make sure to dap Angel off for me. Those, if you're not sure who I'm talking about, Cubano, my guy, he will definitely be there. And don't expect to see him when it starts. He'll be like an hour and a half late, probably with a camera crew following him and shit. Like Angel's that guy. Get ready. Get ready for the showman, okay? He's going to be a highlight reel for you guys. I have not. Lee, good to see you. Mueller Pure Havan. Have you tried the Pandora Sense dupe for 1 million pre-vape? No, a bunch of people have asked me about it, though. I'm going to have to check it out. Wearing Starry Nights. I haven't worn that in so long. I mentioned that. I already answered that for you, my man. But I know I'm pretty far behind. So I know you heard me. I haven't caught up yet. Grandfather passed away. I'm sorry to hear that. Nick Lamal looks at you. Smell great. Silver linings, right? Man, prayers for your family, dude. Seriously, I'm sorry to hear that. Since he's your grandfather and you don't look like a spry young buck, you look closer to my age, I would assume he lived a pretty long and full life. And that's all any of us can hope for, right? Just remember the good memories and prayers for you and your family, my man. Thank you for stopping by, though. I'm so glad you popped in. Seriously, thank you, Nick. I hope you have a better day, man. Mikey with the 999 super sticker. Thank you, sir. Conti's email or IG won't take no for an answer. I believe we have an active conversation open already on IG. If you can just message me on IG. Managed to get a hold of a brand new unopened bottle of Oligarch today. Which one, the EDP or the Parfum? It doesn't really matter. They're both great, but I'm so excited for you. I don't know if you could tell. So excited for you. Yay for you. Early Christmas. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, or is very legit. Trying to find a gift for a buddy. He's 20, doesn't really know what he likes. I was thinking Dylan Blue. I think that's a safe play. I do. And even if he doesn't like it at first, if he gives it a chance and wears it a few times, he may fall in love with it, because that's what happened to me. I didn't like it for a few times. Like 3 or 4 times in a row. I was like, I don't feel it. Now I love it. So that's a pretty safe play, I would think, is going with Dylan Blue. I think you're already walking the right path. Yes, sir. I just haven't sprayed it in forever. It's either that one or Platinum is the one that kind of smells like Vera Ventus. I don't remember which one it is. I have both. I just haven't sprayed them in forever. I never find hard to find fragrances anymore. Those days are dead. They died when COVID showed up. I hardly ever see some like, oh my God. That doesn't happen anymore. Not for me. I'm also not in Texas anymore. That used to happen a lot in Texas, but this was also pre-COVID. So get lucky once in a while. It's just once in a while these days. Luis, good to see you. Wild Parfum, excellent choice. I think it's always a solid choice. Great pickup. Love that Ryu is your avatar, by the way. I'm a Street Fighter guy. That's my favorite gaming series of all time, the Street Fighter universe. I'm a Street Fighter guy. Street Fighter 3 Double Impact, my favorite Street Fighter of all time. The second rendition, not Third Strike. Love Third Strike. Used to play Third Strike online all the time. Double Impact's actually my favorite. I love using Akuma on Double Impact. That's my go-to. On the first one, the new generation, that's where you need to use Ryu. He's a little overpowered. Ryu's a monster on new generation. And then in Third Strike, that's where you need to use Ken. Ken's the monster. Akuma's still pretty good, but not as good as Double Impact. But Third Strike, that's where you use Ken. I know there's a lot of information, but you're not going to have Ryu as your avatar if you're not into Street Fighter. I mean, the likelihood is very small that you don't like Street Fighter. Coincidence, I guess, if you don't. Thank you so much, Papa Smurf. I appreciate that, my man. Same. Totally agree with you guys. The Boz has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. Great to see you, sir. I can't complain. Every day is a good day, man. Aching and sore and all that stuff, but I did have my cheat meal, and Didn't wow me. I did have my 2 hamburgers with extra pickles, extra onions, and my large fry, no salt from McDonald's. I did have my cheat meal. Kind of feel like I shouldn't have had it. Should have did something else. Like it wasn't anything special. Like I don't feel like shit after, like I typically do after eating McDonald's. But I also don't feel accomplished. Like, yes, I ate some crappy food. It was okay. It was okay. That's disappointing for a cheat meal because I'm literally getting 1 cheat meal a week. I'm being that strict. So, because like late at night when I want to snack, I've got some sugar-free Jello and some baby dill pickles, some Mount Olive baby dill pickles that I snack on. Like, no calories at night because once I cut my calories off, I gotta go to bed around 1, so I cut my calories off around 10:30. So if I want to snack, it's like it's rough at night, guys. But I'm devoted. I am fucking devoted. Okay. That's why I feel like maybe I should have just added some rice today to my turkey, basically my ground turkey that I eat every day, instead of the McDonald's, because it really wasn't special. So, but anyways, you asked. That's how we are today, sir. That's how I am today. But great to see you. So we'll probably do about an hour and a half. I see we got 46 minutes. I'm enjoying just chatting with you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying. I'm sorry I'm so far behind. I might just go ahead and skip ahead a little bit. It just comes with over time. It's not necessarily a time frame or a certain number of things to smell. It develops over time. I'll tell you a big thing that helped greatly was quitting smoking, because the sensitivity of my sense of smell and taste enhanced greatly after that. Like it was already pretty good, but when you eliminate something that really kind of holds down and bogs down your senses, because you're constantly living in this particular, burnt tobacco funk. When you eliminate that, your sensitivity, at least for me, my sensitivity to everything enhanced greatly. So it went from accords to now I'm able to pick out notes a little bit better. Like the sensitivity and the detection ability enhanced greatly. But I mean, I've smelled thousands of fragrances, man. Thousands. And I don't just mean 1 or 2,000. I mean thousands of fragrances. I don't own 5,000, but I probably smelled 3,000 plus fragrances at this point in my life, maybe more. It's a lot. I've sampled a lot of things. One-offs that I don't even really remember, but you never know what'll spark a memory that's in the memory bank tied to your olfactory senses, because this is your strongest sense. Let's see. Best incense heavy fragrance. It's right here. It's one of my favorite niche pickups of the year. It's not a release of the year. It's not a brand new release. I think it came out last year, but it's one of my favorite niche pickups of the year. This is going to be in that video. This is a Pico Parfums Vanille Noir. This is incense, Gaiac wood, frankincense, olibanum. It's so many smoky notes wrapped up in one. This is a smoky bomb, but it's not overwhelmingly smoky at the same time. Like the color of the bottle's fitting. It's a smoky incense dominant fragrance. But there's a little bit of spice. There's some aromatic notes to actually provide a brightness to it without making it soapy. A little bit of spice and woods. Mainly the smokier woods. It's a smoky woods fragrance with incense is the main thing here. So good. High quality stuff too. And the bottle's gorgeous. There's good stuff right here. Pico Parfums Vanille Noir. That was an easy answer. Easy answer. That's my favorite incense fragrance I've picked up this year. Not me. Get the experience and unfortunately heard great things. So guys, I'm going to skip ahead a bit. Dan, what's going on, big dog? All Saints Sunset Riot. How close is Gary's Den? So it's like a spicier, less animalic Dior Homme Parfum. I'd say it's like 80%. It's like 80%. Like it clearly smells from. Like quality's pretty close too. But it's not as dark and animalic. But I'm referencing the 75 ml, which I know you have 75 mils, but I think you have 100 mls too. I've had people tell me it does smell close to the 100 ml version, but I've never smelled the 100 milliliter bottle of Dior Homme Parfum. But referencing the 75, it's not as animalic and dark, but it is spicier. Coriander and cardamom are added to Gary's Den. Gary's Den, great. It's great stuff. It's right here. It's great. So good. I went ahead and bought the other two from FOMO Parfums. That's part of the haul that's coming in. Part of the like 11 fragrances for me. Oh yeah, I caught plenty of Boss Bottle Elixirs. Great. Speaking of great incense fragrances, that's a great incense fragrance that came out this year. Jubilation 40. I haven't tried it. I have not. Cypress Cedar, that's good stuff. So let's see. Vertus Vanilla Oud, what's your favorite Zaharoff fragrance? Top 3. I only own 3. So Acento, 40 Knots, and Mephisto, because it's the only 3 that I own. Let's see. Speaking of Banana Republic, I'm thinking recently, fruit juice and perfumery. Is there any? There are banana note fragrances out there. I just don't have any of them. Guys, I'm gonna have to. Oh, so you don't have the 2 fresh ones? They're good, especially Freeze. Freeze is better than Only. So, all right, guys. I hate to skip ahead like this. Cliffy, good to see you. I figured that would make it. That's how far back I am. Jesus. Yeah. So I'm skipping ahead, guys. I'm sorry. I have to. My man 504 Scott, what's going on, big dog? So I'm catching a few things on the way down. Vanilla Oud is awesome. Like Massive Attack. Anything similar to that? I'm not familiar. Noir, feeling gothic. All right. So never gotten a chance to try. Top that I've seen: Valentino Uomo Intense, Dior Homme Intense, Gentleman Line. What's the first you should try? Prodalome. That's the first one I tried. And it made me want more. It's safe because it's soapy, a little spicy and stuff like that. It's not just overwhelming, waxy, powdery. Or like niche irises where it's earthy. Because the designer ones, most of them are fake iris. It's called a fantasy iris note. That heavy powder lipstick smell, that's not natural. Natural iris is much more earthy. Orris butter, orris root, much more earthy. But that's what I would recommend. It's a safe place. I mean, all of those smell very similar to one another. You can get any one of those and you've smelled the other 2. You get any one of those 3 and you know pretty much what the other 2 smell like. Those are super redundant to each other, all 3 of those. But they're all really good. I have all 3. Well, I don't have Valentino Uomo Intense, but I've smelled it. But I have Dior Homme Intense, and I have most of the. I've at least had a decant and or have bottles of all the iris fragrances for Gentleman Line. Good to see you, Jeremiah. So skipping down. Sorry, guys. I got to keep skipping. Sugar-free Jello. Yeah, hey, got to do what you got to do, man. Got to have something to snack on at night. So I've been eating pickles. I'll get a little bowl of them and munch on those, and or some sugar-free Jello. I got the pink Starburst, the strawberry Starburst flavor right now in the fridge. I got one more serving. I got cherry Starburst that got to make. Got to have something, man. Got to have something. So let's see. About 2 years older than you. He was 89. Okay, yeah. So he had a good life. Truly a good man. But thank you again. Much appreciated. God bless. God bless to you and your family as well, man. It's rough time. Ryan Bork, he was in the chat earlier. I don't know if he's still here. He just buried a loved one a couple of days ago, too. He was literally in the chat before he went to the wake. That's dedication right there. So prayers for you and your family, man. Hattiesburg, Mississippi. That is where my cousins were born, in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Yep. The only one I ever really gave a damn to, like, man, I'd love to do content with her is Andrea, and I've done a bunch of content with Andrea. Andrea's my friend. Curly Scents. Not Curly Fragrance, but Curly Scents, which I'm friends with Michelle too. That's geographically not easy to do. Same thing with Erica, because I know Erica comes up a lot. I've been on streams with Erica and stuff like that. We know each other. It's just one of those things where she's many hours away from me. That's geographically easier than the others. But I don't know. Eventually, I'm sure that may happen in an event or something like that. But like if I was going to Scent Explore, I always do vlogs when I go places, but I'm not able to go. That's tonight, by the way, or tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow because today's Thursday. Nobody else really comes to mind specifically because, like I said, I've been knowing Andrea for 4+ years at this point. I've done a lot of content with her. So, and she's really good too. She's really good. She's got a great nose and she's nuts. Her personality, she's nuts. So shout out to Andrea. That's my girl. Yeah, I'm good. I feel like I've done content with the top of the ladder there. And I don't mean with subscriber count and views and stuff. I just, for who she is, just who she is as a person and the nose and the knowledge and everything, feel like I've been to the mountaintop with the lady I'd like to do content with. So shout out to Andrea and Curly Sense and Anthony. You know, it's a two-headed monster over there on that channel. So Justin does have a few of them. I want to try Chaos. I've heard good things. And then I have Eau de Cyan, very realistic seaweed fragrance. Not going to be for everybody, but that's a more realistic aquatic. That's not a mass appealing aquatic. Oh, those are so good. Those are so good. There's an argument for most of them being the best. Like any one Stronger With You fragrance, and you're like, oh, that's the best one. I'd be like, I get it. Even if it's not necessary, because my favorite could change with the wind changing direction with Stronger With You. I love that line. That's a wonderful entry point. That's my main recommendation, is to check out Mancera first. Absolutely. Happy Thursday to you as well. Opnon Supremacy, not only intense to the gym. Jesus Christ. Mr. Gumbo with the $2 super chat. Coute. I actually have not tried it. And you're from Lafayette. Hell yeah. Shout outs to 337. Yeah, I don't have any experience with it, unfortunately, but I appreciate the super chat. I wish I could weigh in. I just can't, unfortunately. But I definitely shout out 337. Those of you who don't know, that's the area code. Here's a better version of Club Black out there. I mean, there's a lot of vanilla incenses out there. There's some vanilla to this incense, for example. This is a much better, higher quality fragrance than Club Black, but it depends, because when you start going down that road of trying to find basically a luxury version of that, you're going to get additions to the scent profile, because most of these niche fragrances are going to be deeper, more complex fragrances. So they may resemble it a little bit, but they're going to have a lot more going on most of the time. So that's kind of a iffy kind of thing. Comes down to, you like the simplicity and the nuance the way it is, because then it was just like, kind of stick with it if you love it. But if you're looking for more, just know that you're not only going to get more in quality, but you're going to get more notes and accords and nuance, more than likely. So keep that in mind, because nothing specific, because there's a ton of vanilla incense fragrances out there, just none that specifically smell like that come to mind immediately. So our most wanted EDP, Intensive Parfum. I mean, they're both great, and they're different enough to where you can have both. Hey, man. I don't know about all that. You ever been to Houma? Go further south. The food gets even better the further south you go. I'm just saying. Palace Athene, just can't get enough. That's, boy, you love you some Argos fragrances, huh, Boz? That's awesome, man. Iron Claw movie. That's funny. That's funny. So I'm definitely going to watch it. I love that MJF's in it. That's hilarious. I want to see how serious of an actor he can be. But I've watched everything Von Erich's that's come out over the years, documentaries and all the different things. So I'm definitely going to watch it. You smiled huge when you sprayed Ferris, so I got it. I appreciate the super chat, Spencer. Ferris is amazing. I understand why it gets compared to Sauvage, but I mean, it's on a different playing field. It smells like fresh cut lavender. It doesn't just smell like Ambroxan, but fresh cut lavender with spices. It's the green spice. It's beautiful. Hattiesburg in the house. USM alum. Your own parfum. I do like Prada Luna Rosa Black. It's got this like Play-Doh smell to it in the top. The way that Angelica and stuff like that comes across. And then it's a powdery amber. The hype's real on that one. It's pretty unique. I don't have a bunch of fragrances that smell like it. It's a very individualistic scent profile, I find. So that's not for me to share unless he would say, sure, tell him. Because, yeah, I know his releasing schedule and all the good stuff. George is a very dear friend of mine. But that's typically, I mean, you can just kind of keep an eye on his pattern, and that's kind of in line with what it is most of the time, 2 to 3. Usually 3 to 4 some years. So it's anywhere. I would say anywhere from 2 to 4. Depends on the year. I think it's more 3 to 4 these days. But 3 is kind of the sweet spot. You can usually expect 3 releases a year from him, not counting like what we did. That's its own thing. But as far as house releases, usually around 3, if we're being honest here. But as far as what's coming, I'm not at liberty to say with the next release and the release after that and all that good stuff. But there's always something exciting cooking from the house of Zaharoff. In the world of Zaharoff, as it's known, there's always something cool cooking. So when I go into a bulk, I will be changing training split. I'm going to switch to push-pull legs so I can get everything twice in a week. Because when I have the calories again, I'm going to be packing a little, but I'm not going crazy on the calories. I'm going to do like a 300 calorie surplus. But that's 8 weeks from now before I go into that 8-week bulk, before I go into the 10-week cut. Because I'm in a 12-week cut right now. I'm just beginning of week 4. Like I'm 3 days into week 4 of this 12-week cut, because I'm cutting the bulk of the weight off now. Like I still have, I was down another 3 pounds of water today. I was 205 yesterday. I was 202 today. So I've got another, because the goal weight at the end of this is 175. So I've got another 27 pounds to go. And I've got till January 29th to get rid of it. I want, for Christmas, for the weekend I go back to Louisiana, I want to be around 188, which is 14 pounds from now. And that is, I'm going on the 22nd. So that's in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, I would like to lose 14 pounds, which I very much can do and will do. I will do that. As long as I at least have 11 or 12 pounds off by then, I'm good. But the target is another 14 pounds between now and the 22nd of December. And then once I get down to 188, then I have 13 pounds to go from December 22nd to January 29th. So a little over a month, like a month and almost a week, roughly, pretty much a week, like 5 weeks, I guess you could say, because they're both 31-day months. I'm going from, let's see. So that'd be 9 days plus 29. So 38 days. So 5 weeks. Actually, a little over 5 weeks, but yeah, so 5 weeks and some change to lose the final 13 pounds, which it gets harder and harder. It's not like it's just steady the whole time. There's going to be things you have to change to keep going. Probably going to have to up the cardio some more, but the calories have been working. I'm doing the bro split, individual muscle groups, but when I go back to bulking, push-pull legs, going to be moving a lot more weight, but I'm going to be doing, because there's certain things, like there's certain spots, like a little bit more of my upper chest I want to fill out some more. Outer portion of the quads I want to fill out some more. Like there's some weak points I find that I need to work on some more in the bulk. Just some last minute, like slapping the clay on, molding the body a little bit more. So I want to try Spirit of Kings Arrakis, however you say it. I've heard that's really, really close as far as quality and nails the scent profile down. But as far as the cheaper stuff, I mean, Tarathi Blue is really good. It's a Mega Mare clone, aquatic, that's beastly. Sold it. Okay, noted. I'll check her out. Yeah, Curly Sense. You're not subscribed to Curly Sense? Yeah, she doesn't do a lot of content. She got 200,000 subscribers and like 150 videos over like 5 years. So she doesn't do a ton of content. It's here and there, but she's got some content out there, for sure. There's plenty, several videos with me on there and with Justin and stuff. None that I've ever heard of. Around 8 hours longevity, roughly 8 to 10. I did a full review on it. Well, a comparison between all 3 versions, actually. Lasts forever on me. Vertus Monarch is good woody aromatic by them too. Noted. I like jambalaya with chicken and shrimp and andouille sausage. Well, that's the standard way to make it right there. That's a common recipe. That's the standard stuff right there. As long as you like the scent, anything's a good pickup, no matter what year. Savannah Green Irish Tweed's my favorite fragrance of all time. Noted. Which designer house, in your opinion, has the best variety in their lines? Not necessarily your favorite, but versatility amongst it. Mancera. There's something for everybody in Mancera. Especially if you like a lot of nuance plus florals. They got a lot of stuff that feature florals. Not everything's got floral dominance in it, but they really speak to me. But they got something for everybody from Mancera. Like exact weights that I'm lifting? No. I'm not overcomplicating things. that's a little wild and like There's a thing is too much information to make videos over. There's too much, too complicated. Yeah, I'm not doing all that stuff. But like today's video for the back workout, in the video description, it's what movement was and what kind of sets they were for each. But outside of like it, set number 2 was this much weight for this many reps. Set number 3 of this exercise was this much weight for this many reps. I'll never do that. That's stupid and way too much. That's way too much. I need to grab a plate lunch from there. Yes, you do. There's a bunch of great places too. If you go there, let me know and I'll tell you some spots. Day 2 of 4 of a water only fast. So Dana White did that recently and leaned out pretty quick. I saw. Speaking of, I bet day 1 was awful. Pine Rock's good to see you. It used to be vetiver. Dominant, but I've grown to appreciate that. My palate kind of adjusted over time. Because I like cumin, I like castoreum and civet and like clove, like some of the usual suspects that people have issue with. I don't mind at all. Some of them I quite like. So nothing really comes to mind about like that. If I pick this note up, I'm like, no, it doesn't really happen, honestly. I'm cutting too, and it hasn't been bad, but damn the holidays and the food. So I had a kind of a cheat day for Thanksgiving because I had like some Oreo dirt cake was my cheat, but I like didn't overdo anything else. So my split as far as the actual macros is 60, 25, 15 as far as percentage, 60% protein, 25% fats, and 15% carbohydrates. Carbs are low. So I think that's what I have it set to right now. That's my split. Just double check real quick. Hold on one sec. Take your time. No need to rush the loading. Yeah, 15% carbs, 60% protein, 25% fat. So the goal in 1,700 calories every day is to stay under 64 grams of carbs. I really kind of round it to 70, as long as I stay under 70, which not today. Today I had a cheat meal. But I'll still stay at maintenance. Like I've set today's meals to get me to 2,400 calories, which is 700 over my usual, which I'm in a 700 calorie deficit. So protein 255 grams and fat 47 grams. That's what I'm doing in my cup. But that one day a week, Thursdays is a refeed day. I eat to maintenance. I don't eat into a surplus. I eat to maintenance. Because the calorie calculators say I'm a little over 2,600 for maintenance, but I think it's lower than that. So I kind of set my maintenance 250 calories lower at 2,400 because I think that's more of because I haven't been on a body mass index scanner yet. I'll be doing that in December when I head back home. 200 pounds. When I go overboard running and lean out, I go to like 187, but start feeling lethargic. Feel good between 190 and 200. Ooh, amber. Ooh, that is my favorite oud rose fragrance. That is a phenomenal choice. All right, so I got to skip ahead, guys. Let's see. Love Incline Smith for upper chest, slow eccentric, and really milk the bottom. What do you like? So as far as for incline, right now I'm doing dumbbells because on the hammer strength, I've been having a bit. So I don't like doing incline Smith because the angle I have to get to, even to get my elbows in a bit more, it still puts enough tension on my front delts because I have a rotator cuff injury on my right arm. And it's bothering me right now. Like it comes and goes. It's bothering me right now. So chest workouts have been a little bit of a challenge to get through the last 2 weeks. It's pretty much since I really got depleted into like the very beginning of the cut, I was still depleting my glycogen. Now that I've depleted it, it's like, it's the injuries. I'm feeling the injury more because everything's more time under tension and slow negatives now because I'm not tossing around the kind of weight I was before. So I'm really focusing to get the most intensity out of every single fucking rep that I can. And I'm paying for it in my shoulder, my right shoulder. Because for a little while, my left shoulder was hurting because it was compensating. So it's, it is. You have an injury on one side, the other side will compensate for it. So it's kind of I don't really have a favorite upper chest movement right now. I do good mornings. The low to high angle cable fly is kind of how you can look at it. I get on the pec deck and lean forward with the seat lower and do a high angle fly, really squeeze the upper portion of the chest. Like there's a variety of things that I'm doing for it. It's just pressing. I'm getting through it. I'm still doing a lot of weight, but takes a lot more warming up than it did before because of the way the right shoulder is right now. Pull up competition for a bottle of business over pleasure. Haha, much love, Ross. Is it redundant to own Camaro? So not really, because Camaro Homme Intense smells like Dior Homme Intense. Gary's Den smells like Dior Homme Parfum. It's not redundant to own Dior Homme Parfum and Dior Homme Intense, in my opinion. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Limited edition Parfum is my favorite version, though. Got to keep that in mind. All right, so I'm so far behind still, guys. Like, as soon as I stop and talk about, I'm almost caught up. Never mind. Okay, so I don't have to skip any further. I would have no idea. I've never tried a single Novitus fragrance. You'd have to ask somebody that has tried them. Has anyone else bought Sunset Swim from Luciano? It's a dupe inspiration of Afternoon Swim, flying under the radar. Bought it for $30 on Fragrance Buy. Juan says it performs great, smells amazing. I've never tried it. Not really all that familiar with it, honestly. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Stacker 2s were legit back then when they had ephedrine in them. Get you racing. I'll never forget when I realized I could not take 2 Stacker 2s. The first time I took Stacker 2s, I took 2 of them. Bad move. Assess tolerance. I had ephedrine and other things before, but they were just so, I guess, the label was underdosed to what was the reality of what was in those capsules. And my God, you remember Yellow Jackets, Stacker 2s and Stacker 3s? I'm sure they're still around. Yellow Jackets, I don't think are, but I think Stacker 3s are still around, but they are not the same Stacker 3s that they were back in the 90s and early 2000s. Yeah, ephedrine was legit. It worked. So they banned that shit. Every time 1 andro, 4 andro, 19 norandro, all those androstenediol, 4 androstenediol, that was like taking D-ball back then. You know, shit worked, so they banned it. Methyl D, 1 methyl D was like taking Anavar. It was basically Anavar. Shit worked, they banned it. M1T was methyl testosterone. It literally converted into methyl testosterone. You get a lot of estrogen from it, but we get strong and shit. Like I've taken all that stuff back then, all the different pro hormones that worked back then. Oh yeah. Late teens, early 20s. Oh yeah. I've got experience with all that stuff that got banned. I was jacked as fuck when I was a teenager. That's why it wasn't hard for me to get my frame back. The hard part's cutting the fat, obviously, because muscle has memory. It's not hard to get back to where you were. It's passing the plateau is the hard part. You know, I'm trying to take my physique to where it's never been before. I'm not quite as lean as I've been in the past. I'm getting there, though. I'm getting there. Ripped Fuel. Gotta remember that stuff. You used to be able to get it at Walmart. Twin Labs. You used to be able to get that shit at Walmart. What note would you like to see more of in modern perfumery? I'd like to see more plum and mango. They use a lot of that these days, actually. I'd like to see the return of carnation. I think carnation used in men's fragrances was already really good. Porthole smells nice and salty and exotic, fruity, watery. It's really good. It's right up there in the corner with my Atelier colognes, with my Jacques Fath fragrances, with my Guerlains. It's right up there. That's actually really good. Nobody ever asked me about that one. That's a good fragrance. Paris Corner has become the best clone house. They seem to damn near ace every scent profile they recreate. They have gotten really good this year. Gotta say, they've year over year, they stepped up a lot this year. I haven't tried any of Ashton's fragrances. Not one. Not from the very first release to now. I haven't tried them. More power to him. I know he released West Loop, and I forgot the name of the other one. It's 2 newest ones. I talked to him last night, as a matter of fact. We were just messaging. Like I said, we talk once in a while now. It's kind of wild that we talk now. But yeah, shout out to Ashton. I definitely wasn't asking you to spill the beans. LOL, just curious on timing, man. 3 to 4 a year. So yeah. Like I can give you a number because his track record shows what he typically does. But as far as like what's coming, I can't do that. Yeah, I can't do that. Best remedy for all that workout soreness is some weed. Vaped or eaten, no question about it. Drinking sucks, but getting the workout in early and chilling. So I've trained high in the past, and yeah, you don't lift as heavy, but boy, you really get that mind muscle connection going. I gotta say, I've trained high in the past, way back in the day. Yeah, I have, because you loosen up, you relax more, you're not as tense. You do have a great workout. You don't want to get blitzed, you know what I mean? But you get a little high, yeah, you have a great workout. A lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. Not my thing. I like my mental clarity, like we were talking about yesterday. I'm all about mental sharpness and mental clarity. So I don't drink. I don't do any kind of drugs. I don't do nothing. You know, I like to stay sharp at all times. And I absolutely could have. I just lived in Colorado Springs. I don't really have the desire for that stuff anymore. You know, quit a long time ago, in my mid-20s, when me and the wife got serious when we were dating. And I started getting careers instead of jobs. Scott, good to see you. So, for those of you that don't know, Tuesday, me and Scott Aromatico, 10 best pickups of 2023, 5 each. I'll be setting that live stream up over the weekend. Hey, that's good stuff, man. That's a great price. I paid $134 from FragranceNet a few years ago. I got it right here. It's in one of the videos I'm doing in a little bit. One of the tag videos I got to film. I paid $134, which is absurd, because the 100 ml typically goes for that price, that $153. So that's phenomenal. Normally it's like $190 for the 200 ml. And this is way more year-round versatile than people get. Yeah, it's great for the winter. Sure. I've been on hikes in the summer with this. It's fine. So good. I always wear this one sporadically throughout the year. That's why I'm glad that I have 200 ml. It makes me, having so much makes me wear it more too. So yeah, it was a phenomenal price years ago. But 153, I haven't heard of that in a long time for that. So that's awesome. Noted. Okay. Torn muscle on my left shoulder, doing pull-ups, not too bad, but certain angles kills it. It might be your rotator cuff, because there's 3 tendons that connect over the bone that make up your rotator cuff. It's typically rotator cuff injuries. I think so. We actually mentioned that earlier in the stream. We talked about that. I don't know if you're the same person that typed it earlier. Reminds me a little of when I started lifting the Jack 3D and DMAA craze. I remember that too. Yeah, the original formulation Jack 3D. Y'all want to talk about reformulations? That was a real reformulation, not a fragrance. That was removing the potency of something for real. Was the whole Jack 3D thing. That was a real reformulation, because shit got banned. They had to. Just like certain aroma chemicals get banned in perfumery, certain substances, performance substances get banned. You know, all it takes is them to actually work and do what's being claimed. If they actually do that well, they're like, oh, no. Controlled substance, banned. They've always done that. They've always done that. It's wild. Yeah, for sure. There was a failed attempt getting Kuba on the live. Any potential for Ashton? You never know. You never know. It's a possibility. I don't know if he'd be open to it or not. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Not anything I'm going to ask anytime soon. We just recently started having conversations. You know what I mean? So we buried our hatchet recently, which he proud of him. He reached out with an icebreaker. So, because I've told you guys, some of you were here for that live stream where it was brought up. Would love to see you and Ashton do a live. And it's like, well, real conversation can go a long way. And we had a real conversation. So shout outs to Ashton. So yeah, it's kind of wild. Kind of wild. So just like Atkinson didn't like me, Ashton didn't like me. We didn't like each other for a long time. The whole being accused of buying subscribers, that was them guys, you know. Time had to pass and people had to grow and mature, and consistency was shown and things like that. So we're all in different places. You know, it was senseless stuff anyways. So I'm very happy about that. I mean, hell, Atkinson's flying from frickin' Scotland to Florida, and we're going to the Rumble together and the Monday Night Raw and fragrance shopping with Nigerian Giant Omas. It's wild how things change, you know. time and consistency and just, you know, I guess in some ways, certain things maturing can change a lot of things. I've had some great conversations with Ashton. Shout out to Ashton. Great conversations. We've got a lot more in common than we realize. A lot of similar interests. He's a car guy. He's a gamer. He's a lot of the things I am. So shout out to Ashton. So that's a possibility. You never know. Yeah, there was so much good shit back when I was a teenager. Muscle milk. Man, I haven't had muscle milk forever. You can get that in a lot of grocery stores now. Like HEB, if you're in Texas, you can get muscle milk products. Ravens in Philly. I don't see the Ravens. Are you forgetting a little team in Kansas City? I don't know how you can count them out until they're out. They're the favorite until they lose. That's how you got to look at that. Listen, Andy Elliott, I've noticed staying sharp and not slowing down is his thing too. Yeah, I like to be able to go. Because as soon as I stop, I'll fall asleep. Like if I was to end this live stream and just kind of lean back and just let my mind wander, I'll fall asleep in seconds. As soon as I stop and don't have a task to focus my mind on, I'll doze off. I'm always tired, so I'm always doing something. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. The white label. Yeah, it's really good. Super fresh. Better than the EDT. It's a Ventus plus Sauvage Elixir. Yeah, it's. I do think it's better than Sauvage Elixir. I got to give them their due here. It's got its own nuance here, but it's great. I gave it a high rating. I think it's a phenomenal release. I just can't do it. Whereas Baby Cat, I'll spend $300 on that because I know you get Absolute Ventus $350. It's been popped $340 and stuff like that. Fragrance Net and all these different places had it. Fragrance Buy, I think, had it for a bit. I'd rather spend $300 hunting down Baby Cat or Tigar from Bulgari. I'd rather spend $300 on those. I like those more, but to each their own. What? Yes. Now tell me this. Which do you smell more, Rick? Niche Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Male, or do you smell Reflection Man? Because the internet will tell you Reflection Man and Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Male are the same fragrance, are very similar, and that Darlie smells like both of them. I never understood how people are saying Reflection Man and Le Male are one and the same. I think Darlie, if you like the Le Male DNA, it's like we say about Percival with Fierce, Golden Frieza, or Black Frieza now, because I haven't seen the manga, but Golden Frieza. It's ultimate form. If you Dragon Ball guys, that's my reference I like to use. Ultimate form. It's Golden Frieza. Percival is the Golden Frieza of Fierce DNA. Darlie is the Golden Frieza of the Le Male DNA. It is phenomenal. I agree. Shame on me that I don't have a bottle, but I still have plenty of them. I have a large decant. I still have plenty of that I spray from time to time. Great pickup, Rick. Great pickup. Yeah, I'm going to get it at some point. Absolutely. I will get it. That's one of the releases I want to get. I've never smelled it. So you do get Reflection Man in it. Shit. I should have scrolled a little more before I said all that, because I just don't. I get the faint resemblance with Reflection Man, but I do not think Le Male and Reflection Man are the same fragrance. I just don't. There's so much more going on in Reflection Man than Le Male. Went to the Rumble once in Fresno, Save Mart Center, and Vince McMahon tours. That you went to that one? That's funny. That's funny. My mom really likes slightly more masculine. Since thinking about getting her Tom Ford Black Orchid, that's not masculine. I don't think that's masculine. That's more feminine leaning unisex. If Noir EDP wasn't discontinued, if she likes more masculine, I would say try that, but it's discontinued. It's kind of a foggy iris. But I think Black Orchid's a good spot. It's not really all that masculine, I don't think. Also like Haltane better than Altair. Okay. What's your dream car? Oh, yes. So the actual dream car and the actual car I'm going to buy are two different things. So 70s 454 Stingray, 454 engine in it. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Corvette Stingray, any of the 70s body styles. But I'm going to get a C7. the last generation Corvette. I think it's the prettiest Corvette ever. And I want a Grand Sport. I don't have to have the Z06 because I plan on keeping the car forever. So I don't want to deal with the maintenance of the supercharger. I don't need 655 horsepower. It's not that serious. 455 plus a few bolt-on mods and a tune, and I'll have 500 plus, and that's because that's what I'll do. But I want the Z06 body. It's a wider body, cooler taillights, fender flares, and stuff. The Z06 body of the last generation Corvette's nicer than the base model. So that's why I want the Grand Sport. The Grand Sport is the Z06 without the supercharger. Looks like Z06. It's got Grand Sport badges in it. So I want a C7 Grand Sport. But the dream car is like a 1972 bronze. That specific one. I actually have the model my dad made when he was a kid. A 72 bronze Corvette Stingray 454 engine in it. If I won the lottery tomorrow, I'd have a Corvette from every generation. Just to let you guys know. That's since I was a kid, that's been my thought. I would have a Corvette from every generation. Some generations more than one, because there's certain models I'd like a 1990. I'd like the ZR1 and a Z06. The C6 and C5, I'd want a C6 and a base convertible. Like there's certain ones where I'd want more out of the generation because of the certain trims. But yeah, I'm a Corvette guy through and through. I know some of you have seen some of that. I got a bunch of Corvette shirts. I'm a Corvette guy. Freaking Corvette C7's right there. I mean, you can't see it because I don't have the lighting on. That's a gray Corvette Stingray right there, a little model. That's the color I want too, that's sharp gray. This is actually a Grand Sport. But yeah, this is the car I want, but with red leather. And I will get it. I'm going to get a house first. I promised the wife I'll get a house first. So in about 3 years. The day we get the keys, I'm Corvette shopping, though. Just letting you know now. No, they sent it to me. They sent it to me a while back. Does it matter if I bought it? I'm always honest with you guys on my thoughts. I hate when I get asked that. Why the fuck does it matter? Because like if you saw the video, you know. Because anytime I'm like doing an individual video or it's an unboxing first impression, like I was just sent by, like this morning, the video that came out, this was sent by Aroma Concepts. I just do it the one time. It's not going to be every time you ever see me. So they sent this to me because my opinion isn't dictated by free or not. I've shit on, well, respectfully. I'm not disrespectful when I don't like fragrance, but I've poo-pooed on some fragrances, and be respectful, and real brands understand it. Some people get in their feelings, but it's typically not bigger brands that get in their feelings. But yeah, that doesn't dictate what my opinion is going to be. That's not how I operate, because that's one of the things I like to use to separate me is I'm not everybody else. I'm me. I'm an individual, and I expect to be judged as an individual because obviously I'm a social media personality. I'm going to be judged. I'm being judged right now by saying this. And I'm okay with that because I'm okay. I stand by the things I say. So, which is why I'm saying like that has no relevance to my opinions and my thoughts. So I want to make sure you understand that, Chuck. I'm not trying to attack you. I don't want you to take it as that. I'm just very, very firm when it comes to topics like this. So I want to point that out. That has no relevance if it was sent to me or I purchased it. How I'm going to feel is how I'm going to feel. I don't give a shit about relationships. Raja Dove could stop sending me fragrances tomorrow. I'm going to say what I like about the fragrances. Most of the time I love his fragrances, but you never know. There's always that potential that I don't like something, and I'll just say if I don't. So there's that. And I got behind a little bit. My apologies. The relationship grows with Ash. Maybe he'll get his nose on the house of Zaharoff. So it's not my place to tell you guys. He's got some stuff. Like he's tried my fragrance and stuff, and he told me what he thought about it and everything. And it was good. It was good. It was great to hear what he thought, but it's not my place to tell you what he thought. That's up to him if he ever wants to share that publicly. But it was, like I said, we've had some great conversations. Love between life's too short for the fighting. And there wasn't real fighting. It was just accusations. Like I told you guys in May 2020, when I started growing rapidly, community turned on me. That includes peers, not just audience. peers were leading the charge. So it's just what it was. And that's what lit a fire. Is like, all right, motherfuckers, I'm going to show y'all. Only time and consistency can show you. And that's when my work ethic increased even more. That's where this comes from. It lit a fire under my ass. It's like, all right, motherfuckers, I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to show y'all who's buying something, motherfuckers. Look at my efforts, you know, which has got us to this point. I mean, hell, we just celebrated me reaching 100K, which thank you guys. That's not a thing without you guys, but yeah. So it's just what it is. Really, it's not bad, but Le Male Parfum's way better. Hey, and it's a taste thing. I totally get that. Le Male Parfum's beautiful. It's 1A and 1B between those two. Every day could be a different favorite. They're both phenomenal to me. It's just a taste thing. Edgewater, that's the other one. Okay, yeah. Well, looking it up and smelling it are two different things. Yeah, I know. I knew Westloop. I couldn't remember the name of the other one. Ooh. Believe it or not, Guerlain L'Homme Ideal, the Eau de Parfum, does great in the heat. I think Jeremy was the first to say that a few years ago, and he was totally right. That might have been where I got the idea from. I like to give credit. You know, I think I heard that from Jeremy originally and tried it out, and it actually is great in the heat, especially in the evenings. It's a great date night fragrance for that. Infrared Eau de Toilette, the first infrared spice bomb, that's great, believe it or not, summer nights. It's very airy, much airier than you would think, even though it's sweet and hot, sweet and fiery hot. It really works summer dates. That's two that you typically wouldn't think for that situation that excel in that situation, at least for me. And T-top, yeah, with T-tops, that's what I want. So you just looked it up. Yeah, it's a beautiful car. It's a beautiful car, man. And the 454 is so rare for that year model. It's so rare. I'm sure there's a few. Lakeisha, good to see you. Same here. They used to send me those vet magazines in the mail when I was a kid. Yeah, I'm such a Corvette guy. I'm a Corvette purist. Corvette's dead, guys. The C8, the new one, is not a Corvette. That is a supercar. That's an exotic, an American-made exotic, basically, is how you can look at it. It's a beautiful car. It's just not a Corvette anymore. It's got Corvette badges. It looks like a freaking Ferrari or a McLaren. It's not a Corvette anymore. When they move, because they've been talking about moving to mid-engine for years. That's not some new thing they came up with a couple of years ago. For a decade plus, they've been debating on doing it. And they finally did it. Corvette's a rear-wheel drive. It's been rear-wheel drive since the 50s. It's not the Corvette anymore. It's the supercar formerly known as Corvette. It's kind of like how you can look at it. Gotta love a Corvette. Bowling Green, Kentucky. We do vets, bourbon, and basketball. I love the motto. Never understood the Reflection Man Lamal comparisons either. There's a minty barbershop and the other's a floral soapy. Thank you, Rick. Thank you. I'm glad we're together on this. Yeah, I get some similarity. I get it, but as far as how close you'll read some people say it is, it's like, what? It can't just be me that doesn't think that, you know? Like, it's maddening sometimes. Kind of new here, just checking. Okay, no worries. Like I said, please don't take offense to what I'm saying. I assumed that was kind of new. I need to go watch it. Yeah, for sure. Because that's something I take a lot of pride in, is that I'm no bullshit, no fluff. Like, what you see is passion one way or the other. Passion for not liking it, passion for loving it, falling in between where it's okay. You can tell. I'm an emotional guy. You'll see it on my face. I wear the emotion. So that's one of the things I pride myself on. Like all that shill stuff you'll hear, that's fucking bullshit. That's just haters. Don't listen to that. I mean, you can listen to it if you really want to. It's just not true. There's a Minecraft level out there in a fantasy world that make these things up about me. So, you know, more power to them. I'm actually appreciative of that kind of shit, believe it or not. It's talk. No such thing as bad press if there's no real bad press, right? But yeah, that's something I really pride myself on. So that's why it's like when it comes to that topic, I'm pretty firm about my responses. Like, hey, man, that's not me. I'm not that guy. It's irrelevant if I got it for free or not. You know, I saw Rick, a matter of fact, RXL that I was just talking to. I saw him in one of his videos one time, and it really stuck with me. I was so proud to see him say that. Like, I don't know if I was being one of the reasons for the reference, but I really took it that way, and I appreciate it, Rick, if it was he said, if you're a fan of somebody, if you're subscribed to them, you watch them all the time, you should know if they're full of shit. If you've watched them enough, you should be able to tell if they're bullshitting you. And that's so true. If you've watched enough videos, you've been around enough, you're in this live stream, you should know by now if I'm full of shit or not, you know? So Rick, I don't know if you were referencing me as one of the points of topic for that, but I took it that way. And I was so proud to see that. Thank you for that. Even if you weren't talking about me, I appreciate it anyway. Thanks, sir. I get asked all the time. She refuses. No way, no how. Doesn't want to do it. I gave up a long time ago. She doesn't want to do it, man. I get asked all the time. I literally got asked in a comment 2 days ago. It happens all the time. Yeah, she's not down for it. She wants this to just be my thing, and she doesn't want to involve herself. Especially knowing what the bullshit I deal with on the internet, she doesn't want to add to it. It would be cool. She just doesn't want to do it. I get it. I understand. When you're going to do stuff like this, you got to have thicker skin. You got to learn to have thicker skin, because you deal with bullshit. Even in the fragrance community, you deal with bullshit. So, but thank you for asking, because like I said, I've been asked a ton of times over the years. Isola Blue slightly. Burlington 1819 is a 9.5. Isola Blue's a 10. The only 10 I've ever given. For Ross is going to be a Isola Blue. See, he knows. I haven't tried it. I know Justin's a big fan of it. Yeah, yeah. So that's my regulars that are answering it for me for sure. Thinking about picking up at the barbers, would you say it's my favorite? When it comes to barbershop fragrances, I think it's the most authentic, not just photorealistic, but authentic. You can't help but think you're there when you smell it. The line is replica, to replicate scenarios and scenes, and I think they replicated it perfectly. I've got a bunch of great barbershop fragrances, a bunch. I love the style. It's timeless. But I think that's the cream of the crop. That's Everest. That's the Mount Everest of them, to me. AJ, good to see you. Signature Citrine. You, sir, smell phenomenal. So we're a little over an hour and a half. We can go ahead and shut it down here in a second. I did not. Intends to discontinued. Yes, actually. Michael Dinsmore from Making Sense just released a pretty spot-on version called Iris Man Intense. Making Sense, as you see it spelled here, without the apostrophe, obviously, just without the G, makingsense.bigcartel.com. You can get a 17 ml, you can get a 50 ml, a 30 ml, 100 ml. You can get samples, you can get 5 ml. Pretty spot on. It's an X-straight version though, so it's not gonna be as bright, but it lasts forever. Oh, so good. And he has Iris Man, which is Provolone. That's spot on too. Not as bright, lasts forever. Yeah, for sure. I'm sure they got a ton of them. Nothing jumps out in my mind immediately, but I'm sure they got a ton of them knowing them. Yeah, I know Perfume Mania does. They carry them. I say the fragrance torn between Sauvage ET. Go with Weiler Parfum. I think that would be a little bit more dressy appropriate, if you will, more semi-formal, semi-casual than Sauvage EDT. I think Weiler Parfum is the better option here. You still get the freshness, a little bit of playfulness, but it's also a lot smoother. You get more musk than you do shower gel. You get spice and musk more than spice and shower gel. I just think I would choose Weiler Parfum if it's me in this situation between those two. Sweet. 67 GTO. Oh, shit. Cerruti 1881. Bella Note got 3. Oh, you smell good whilst Christmas shopping. Sin of the Night, CK 2019. I'm assuming summer. Well over 500. 5 something. I counted them not long ago. It's 5 something. Good to see you, Adam. Teach their own. Teach their own. Maybe it's just not for you. It's definitely a teach their own kind of thing. Infrared EDP, my favorite designer release of the year. Yeah, I haven't tried any of his fragrances. And to look it up and give you my opinion, that's not the same as smelling it. Yeah, I did answer your comment. Well, Jeremiah, I appreciate that, man. I wouldn't sit here and say I'm the best. I would say questioning authenticity is to not get to know me, is the way I would put it, because I pride myself on those things. You know, outside of that, but I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the best at anything because I'm just sharing my opinions. You know, we're all just sharing opinions at the end of the day, and that's a subject to change kind of thing, and everybody feels different about things. So I wouldn't call myself the best of anything. I would say I'm pretty damn passionate though, and eager to learn more and more and more. That's how I am when I'm into something. But I appreciate the compliment. I'm a Cat Williams guy, always have been. But I do like what Matt Rife's been doing. I think Matt Rife's pretty funny. I'm glad he's blown up. Indeed, it is. Free bottle's not going to sway you. That's for the other type of dude. Randy's a good dude, man. Come on now. I see how you spelled that. Randy's a good dude. Yeah, this bottles. I don't need another fragrance. I buy fragrances all the fucking time. Even if there's, you know, affiliate links and things like that, it still doesn't sway an opinion because I have very specific parameters. If somebody reaches out to me, it's my way or we don't do it. That's just how I do it because my integrity is not for sale, and your guys' trust matters to me. So that's actually one of the things me and Ashton talked about. That's a mutual respect thing right there, is the audience's trust. Where that's not compromisable. It's just not. I'm not willing to do that. I don't give a fuck if they offer me 10 grand, which never happened. I don't want anybody to think that happens, but we're going to talk about things my way, or we're not going to do it. Because let's be honest here. When they reach out, they're hoping for me to like it. They're hoping for you to say, ooh, Ross likes it, I'm going to try it, and for you to spend money. That's what any and every brand, big or small, is hoping for. That's what they're looking for. And you guys understand that, and I understand that's what they're looking for. So it's going to be, you're rolling the dice with whatever comes out of my mouth. I'm respectful if I don't like it. Don't think I'm going to shit on you. I'm going to be respectful, but it's going to be understood I don't like certain things about it. But I can also find the good and most at the same time. But I'm going to encourage sampling if I like it. I'm not going to encourage, you should buy this bottle right now. That's rare. Only if it's a situation where you just can't sample. Even then, I'm like, I don't know, maybe do a split. Somebody that's buying them to decant, check them. But I'm always about you guys when it comes to talking about this stuff, because I come from the consumer. I'm a consumer. So I look out for the consumer. I have the consumer in mind because I spend a lot of fucking money on fragrances. I get free shit, but I spend a lot of money on fragrances, guys. Month in, month out, year in, year out. So like I said, I am no different and no better than you guys. I'm a consumer too. It matters to me too. No, you like the Swamp, but I haven't. Most of the Guerlain and Mater line, Tinto, it's amazing. I'd be happy to send you decants. Just an offer. Cheers. I'd be open to having a discussion about it for sure. A lot of people have been wanting to send me decants lately, and I appreciate that stuff. Yeah, for sure. Because I wear it on me, man. I wear it on me. No worries. I assume that's what it was. That's a good one. Until 2021 came out, that was my favorite. 2021 still my favorite. But 2019, damn good. Never tried that one. Thanks for answering my question from across the pond in England. Replica question got me thinking I could always pull out my bottle of Jazz Club and rock with my suit. You definitely could. You definitely could. If you want to play it, I mean, that's really not a challenging thing either. That's kind of a safe play too. And then I'll set you apart a little bit because some of your coworkers are probably going to be playing it safe. Because let's be honest here, how many of them are into fragrances watching a fragrance live stream like right now, like you are? What's the likelihood that they're into fragrances like you? I'm not saying you don't have coworkers that are like that, but the likelihood's pretty low. Even though this is a blossoming hobby and community, it's still pretty damn small compared to most. So you're probably the fragrance guy at work, the cologne guy, as it's known. So you're going to be stepping out a little bit with Jazz Club in that setting, I bet. That's probably a good move. I think that's a better move than Weiler Parfum, and it's still safe. Thank you, sir. Ooh, Armaf Aura Fresh, longer lasting Versace Mano Fresh, not as bright, but longer lasting because it's basically Mano Fresh EDP. Armaf nailed that one. Weiler Parfum's clone from Fragrance World. It's called F Le Parfum. I think that's a phenomenal option. We were just talking about Y Le Parfum. I actually wear F Le Parfum more than Y Le Parfum because it's so spot on. So that one from Fragrance World is called F Le Parfum. And one more that what would be a really good one? Very office safe. Don't have to worry about offending anyone. Probably better off with this. So it's a clone of Byredo's Bal d'Afrique, but I like it better than the original. It's called Vibrant Vetiver Delight. It smells like Sprite to me, like the color of this bottle. I think it's great. I don't know how anybody could not like this smell. It's bergamot, even though it's not lime. It still smells like a lemon lime soda with a little bit of fresh spice, fresh greens, very safe, fresh woody vetiver. I think something like this, Paris Corner's Vibrant Vetiver Delight, I think would be a great option. I love that fragrance. It's one of my most worn for the year. That's why it's right here for that video. I got a lot of content to do. We're almost 2 hours. I got to shut this damn thing down. I got so much to do. New to this hobby, so definitely appreciate your thorough takes. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you for the trust. BS. Hey, Ross, this is Antonio. I was wondering. Okay, why are you not on your profile today? I mean, I'm glad you're here. Eddie, good to see you. Awesome weather. Hell yeah. Just an FYI, rocking Armani Code Parfum tomorrow. Well, David, thank you for letting us know. You, sir, are going to smell very, very good. Yeah, it's a good one for sure. I think it's hitting a stride right now. It's growing massively. More guys are taking things like this into account more, even if it's just for a short time and they get a small collection and then they move on. There's a revolving door of people in the online fragrance community. There's people that stay. There's a smaller percentage that stay long term, but there's a revolving door of a massive influx crowd coming in and out. I think it's just going to continue to evolve. I think Jeremy is not the last that'll be over 1 million subscribers. I think that is the inevitable for a few people over time, but that's also going to be evolution. It's not going to be just basic review all the time. Like I think this interaction is a separator for me. This particular live stream. This live stream has been very successful for me, and that's because of you guys. Everything on this channel is because of you. Everything on every channel is because of the audience. You know, the channels are nothing without the viewers. So it comes down to evolution and interest and relatability for people. Like most of the people that are here relate to me in some way. Channels I watch, I relate to them in some way because you're more interested in the personalities than just an opinion, right? And I know that's the case for me. So I think the inevitability is continued growth. But long-term, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, when brick and mortar becomes pretty much extinct, I think it'll be pretty much this. It'll be pretty much this, and buying decants, like decant sites will be even more prevalent than they are. There's tons of them now, but I think it's going to continue because it's so rapidly growing that we haven't even come close to seeing a peak for it yet. Year over year, it's big growth with the online community. I don't have any of the molecule fragrances, so I'm actually can't weigh in on that one. Both versions are. Just know that the EDP is a smoky vanilla. It's not really all that oceanic. I bought because of your videos, and I appreciate. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you greatly. Newt, great to see you as always. Good night. Yeah, I'm shutting it down. Did you get Creed samples of the ones you don't have and do a tier list? Curious on your opinion, Royal Water and Royal Oud. Royal Water is an underrated fragrance. I'd be open to that. I've never done the tier list thing. I don't even know is that a piece of software or a website? I'm not sure where to go for that. Maybe you get the more of these brands will reach out. Anyone who's been around for a while already knows your integrity. And I appreciate that. And that's what I always encourage people. I always assume if somebody asks about, did you get it for free or you're saying that because you got it free, I always assume they're new because anybody that's been around for a little bit wouldn't ask because they would have gotten to know me, especially if you watch my live streams. If you watch these live streams, there's no way you'd ask me that unless you're just a hater. People will still say that, oh, I do watch that stuff and you're full of shit. You're just a hater. That's not true. That's an opinion, a false opinion, but it's an opinion. And everybody's right to one. Everybody's right to one. You know, most of the people that don't like me, I'm pretty confident I wouldn't like them either. So it's probably a two-way street, you know. But at the end of the day, I'm talking about fragrances. It's kind of weird, but I understand the stigmas. I understand people's skepticism. Like with me specifically, I'm very passionate. I come off as a salesman. I've been a salesman. I totally get it. It's my personality though. But it goes back to what you're saying. If you've been around for a while, you get to understand me. So it'll make more sense. Like, oh, that's just how he is. I get it. He's not trying to sell me. He's just really excited. That's what it comes down to. So on that note, I think it's a good spot with Jeremiah's comment right here for me to shut it down, because it's almost 2 hours, man. I need to shut it down. I got a lot to do. It's dark outside. It's dark so early. It's 4:50. It's friggin' dark outside. Let's turn a light on or something. That's crazy. So I appreciate you guys for being here. Anybody that hasn't checked out this morning's video, please do so. If you want to hear more thoughts on this one, I had to wear it right away. It's just too good. Anybody that's tried Kayali pistachio gelato, I don't know how accurate it is to it, but if I have to try it because the clone's really good, really good. Same thing goes with Rifakat. It was such a great fragrance that I couldn't wait to try Baby Cat, and Baby Cat's amazing. Try Baby Cat if you haven't yet from YSL. But I'll catch you guys on the next one. This is the last stream for the week. We'll be back on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday for streams next week. Our usual schedule. Actually, no. Monday through Thursday, because Friday I'm going to Chicago. I'm going to visit my friend and yours, George Zaharoff, next weekend. I forgot. So I guess Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're going to stream next week again. It'll be the same schedule as this week. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Make sure to check out today's video. Like I said before, y'all have a good one, guys. And thank you, everybody, for the super chats, and welcome to the new members as well. Before I forget, y'all have a great evening.